Today we're going to look at some multiple digit multiplying. So in order to do this, you're either going to need a whiteboard and marker or a paper and pencil. You decide which method works best for you and pause the video while you make sure you have all of your materials. Okay guys, so we're going to look at this very first problem here about the bakery. And if you look at the top left, it says that last month the bakery sold 389 trays of bagels. How many bagels did the store sell last month? Well, if we look at the graphic, it says that there's 12 bagels per tray. So when we set this problem up, it's going to look like 389 times 12, because there's 12 bagels per tray. So when we go to solve this, and this is just review from 4th grade, when we go to solve this, we're going to start at the digit in the ones place. We're going to take that digit, we're going to multiply it times the ones up top, then the tens, then the hundreds. So we're going to start with 2 times 9. 2 times 9 is 18. 8 goes here. 1 goes above the next digit to the left. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. Regroup the 1 above the next digit. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Now at this point, we've multiplied 389 times 2. So we're going to cross out all of the regrouping marks so that we don't make a mistake later. Okay? And then we're going to take the next digit on the bottom, the 1, which is in the tens place. We're going to multiply that times everything up top. But because this is a 1 in the tens, it really stands for 10 times everything up top. So in order to take care of that, we're going to put our placeholder 0 right here. So now, instead of it being times 10, everything is times 1, because that 0 takes that tens place. So we're going to do 1 times 9, 1 times 8, 1 times 3. So 1 times 9 is 9, 1 times 8 is 8, 1 times 3 is 3. So 389 times 10 is 389 with a 0, or 3,890. Now that we have all of our multiplication done, then we're going to take our 2 lines and we're going to add them up in order to answer the question. 8 plus 0 is 8, 7 plus 9 is 16, regroup. 7 plus 8 is 15, plus 1 is 16, 1 plus 3 is 4, so we have 4,668 bagels. Okay, so that was our quick review on how to do that. So our next problem is a 3 by 3. Process is not much different, except for now we have 3 digits in the bottom multiplier. So in order to do this, we're going to have to start with the digit in the ones, the 2. We're going to have to multiply it times everything up top. Then we're going to go to the 4, multiply times everything up top. Then we're going to go to the 3 and multiply times everything up top. So let's look at what that looks like. So I'm going to start with my red pen to do 2 times everything. So 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 3 plus 1 is 7. And 2 times 2 is 4. So 236 times 2 is 472. And we're going to get rid of the regrouping mark up there. And then I'm going to go to the 4. Now this 4 is in the 10, so it stands for 40. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to put our placeholder 0 right there. And then let me switch colors here. Let me see if I can get it to switch. Okay. So there we go, our placeholder 0. So instead of it now being 40, it's 4. So we're going to do 4 times 6, 4 times 3, and 4 times 2. 4 times 6 is 24, regroup. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So 236 times 40 is 9,440. We're going to get rid of those regrouping marks, and I'm going to switch colors one more time. Now we're multiplying times the 3 and the hundreds. So this stands for 300, which has 2 zeros on it. So when I go down here to this next position, I need 2 placeholder zeros for the hundreds place. Okay, so now instead of being at times 300, it's times 3, because I already have the 100 part down here. So no placeholder zeros in our first line, 1 in the second line, 2 in the third line. We're going to do 3 times 6, 3 times 3, and 3 times 2. 3 times 6 is 18, regroup. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Now that we have all of our multiplication done, we're going to add up all of those lines of math to find out what our final answer is. 2 plus 0 and 0 is 2. 7 plus 4 plus 0 is 11. 1 plus 4 plus 4 plus 8 is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 9 plus 1 is 10. And 8 there. So we have 80,712. The biggest thing when you're doing your 3 by 3 is remember, in that second line, there is one placeholder 0, and when you go to the hundreds place, it is 2 placeholder zeros. If you forget those things, then your answer is definitely not going to be accurate. Okay, guys, so we've looked at decimals before, and you've watched a video and you've seen how to handle decimals. So when we look at this problem, it says the gym is getting new flooring. The length of the gym is 42.5 meters and 36 long and 36 1/10 meters wide. What is the area of the flooring that needs ordered? Okay, well, in order to do this, we have to use the formula for area, which is length times width. So our problem is going to look like that. Now, as we've talked about with decimals before, we're going to ignore those decimal points while we're doing the math. So really, this is the same thing right now. It's 425 times 361 when we ignore those decimal points. But we're not completely ignoring them because we know that in our answer we need to have them. So just kind of ignore them there. Look at it like 425 times 361. So what I want you to do is pause the video, go ahead and solve it, and whenever you're done solving, go ahead and hit play and check your answer. Okay, so after doing all of the math, your answer at the bottom should be 153,425. Now I can't just automatically put a decimal point, comma right between the 3 and the 4, because we have to figure out where a decimal point goes, because we were ignoring it to do the math, but now we need to look up and figure out how many digits should be after a decimal point. So when we go to the problem, here's our decimal point, and there is 1 digit after the decimal point in the top multiplier, and here's our decimal point. There's 1 digit after it in the bottom multiplier. So we need to have 2 digits after our decimal point. So there's our 2 digits. So our decimal point gets inserted right there. So our final answer is 1,534 and 25 hundredths. Okay, guys, let's look at the next question. Okay, so the length of the Nile River in Africa is about 14 times the length of Lake Michigan. About how many miles long is the Nile River? So in setting this up, we're going to have 307 times, sloppy 7 there, sorry about that, 14. Okay, go ahead and pause, do this work on your whiteboard, and when you're ready to check it, come on back and hit. Okay, so your answer should be 4,298 miles. If you had it wrong, go ahead and look and check through the work up top. Hopefully that you did 4 times 0 plus 2 correctly, and also 1 times 0 correctly. Okay, our last problem for today. The 5th grade class at Oak Flat Elementary sold more bags of popcorn than any other class. They ordered 104 cases of popcorn. Each case had 155 bags of popcorn. How many bags of popcorn did the class sell? So when we're looking at this, there's cases of popcorn and bags of popcorn. The cases are filled with the bags of popcorn. So when we look at this, there are 104 total cases. And in each one of those cases, there's 155 bags of popcorn. So you're going to have to multiply those two numbers in order to solve this question. So go ahead and hit pause, solve. When you're ready to check it, come on back. Okay, guys, so your final answer should be 16,120 bags of popcorn. And that's our last practice example that I'm going to model for you. If you're having any trouble with this at all, please come to me at class and let me know that you need me to work on more examples with you. Okay, so hopefully I've told you what you're going to be doing next, probably a practice paper on your own. So go ahead and get started on whatever the next activity is that I've assigned to you. And good luck.